Show with Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan, one of the top real estate agents not only on the Grand Strand, but in the world. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, The Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Welcome to Blake Sloan Real Estate Show. Awesome new show this week. All kind of crazy stuff going on in the real estate world. And we'll do the same thing we do every week for the last 14 plus years. Keep you updated on anything, everything real estate related here, Myrtle Beach and the Grand Strand. We're kicking off the summertime right now. People are coming in like crazy. So we'll talk about what's happening right now, how we're seeing this shift from the spring market to the summer market. Lots of great stuff. We have the brand new market numbers in from last month. They're very, very interesting. A little bit of slowdown we had in sales, but price is still doing pretty good. We'll talk about kind of everything going on with that. Some huge news nationally just came out. We'll talk about, and I've been talking the show weeks and weeks and months, just about how Myrtle Beach has been a little bit isolated from some of the slowdown. We continue to be kind of an anomaly where people are still moving here. Myrtle Beach just named the number two destination in the country last year, which is awesome. And we're actually in the New York Post today. How people are no longer going to Florida. Now they're choosing to go to places like Myrtle Beach. So, and that's to move to, which is super cool. So that's great news for our home sellers, great news for anyone that has real estate here. And so lots of great stuff. We'll talk about some amazing, amazing success stories. I'll tell you, you can really feel the market kicking off in terms of that summer pace where everyone's been stalking properties for months and months. They're moving in, coming on vacation, looking for properties. Our team's been burning candle at both ends. So lots of great stuff. We have some force of owner data. We have last week's agenda. We just didn't get time to get to. Lots and lots of stuff. If you ever want to come back and watch these shows again, we stream them online. You can go to YouTube, just type in Blake Sloan Radio Show. You can find me on Facebook, search me. We also have a podcast. We have any podcasts, Spotify, Apple, all of it. Just type in, Blake Sloan Real Estate. You can find it on there. Lots of great information. Again, we have one goal for this is to help serve the community, give you information about real estate, and help you make better decisions with your largest assets.
All right, a lot of stuff to get to. If you're just tuning in for the very first time and you're not sure who you're listening to or what you're listening to, it's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show, hosted by, of course, Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan has been part of the Real Estate Whiz Kid. It's been featured in Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, Realtor magazine, other national publications. You may be seeing him on TV with NBC and also with Fox and Friends, the morning show. You've heard the personal endorsements here by Sean Hannity, also Barbara Corcoran, Gary LaVox. Put them all together, it's just totally unprecedented. Now, that's one thing. But the other thing is that Blake has trademark systems for both home sellers and home buyers. They are trademarked, so we can't give you all the details, but more than happy every week to tell you the most important part of that system.
Yeah, and that's the whole reason behind the show is just that whole aspect where I just noticed being in the business for a long time that you see mistake after mistake after mistake being made for people with their largest assets. And the mistake they make the most is thinking that all real estate agents are the same, and it could not be any further from the truth. So I made a promise a long time ago. Look, if I talk about one thing on the show or make a difference in how people make decisions, they just need to really kind of be woken up to understand, look, everyone's so much different in terms of how real estate agents operate. Everyone that calls, they call and ask the same questions. They always ask the wrong questions, right? It's like, how much do you charge? And that's really about it. And so they don't really they don't ask the right questions of like, how do you market? How are you marketing my property? How would you make my property stand out against everything else? All the things you notice that people tend to ask the wrong question. They're dealing with largest assets. And the reality is it's a service-based business, which means it's based around people, just like any doctor, any lawyer, right? If you charge a crime you didn't commit, I don't want the cheapest lawyer. I don't want the attorney who my friend recommended who just tried a few cases. I want the absolute best, most aggressive attorney who specializes in that type of law because I want a competitive advantage in the courtroom. And you should demand that same level of excellence when you're dealing with your largest assets, which is real estate. For some reason, everyone kind of thinks, and again, I will give you this. A lot of agents are pretty much average and they're all very, very similar, right? The average agent in our marketplace sells 4 homes per year, which is 1 per quarter. There's not a whole lot of experience there, not a whole lot of money to market with there. And so people make these mistakes over and over and over again. It's just like one of the best analogies I have. You go to a restaurant, sometimes you have amazing experience, sometimes you have terrible experience. The one thing that drives that experience is the human being that you're interacting with, that's your waiter or waitress. And it's the same thing when you're dealing with your largest asset, real estate, which has a very, very long sales cycle. A lot of people don't realize is that there's a very long sales cycle on the buy side, very long sales cycle on the listing side, because you got to get it on the market, you got to prep for the market, get it marketed. And then once it goes under contract, you have inspection periods, you have financing, you have all these things it has to go through. And so you want to make sure there's someone with systems and processes in place who can absolutely manage those. And the problem is, in our industry, what most agents do is the 3 Ps. They promise you the world to get the listing. They say anything and everything to get you to list that property. Second thing they do is they put it into MLS. right? Take some photos on their phone or whatever it is, pop it to the MLS. And 3, they just sit back and pray that someone else brings a buyer. And so what happens is the only real differentiator on your property comes down to just pricing. And so they end up having to get the price down. In many cases, what I notice is so many homeowners cost themselves $20, $30, $40, $50,000 of their hard-earned equity because of how their property is marketed or because of how the agent helps them or they do it themselves on their purchase side. And so the reality is most people don't realize when you're selling a property, there's 118 different variables from A to Z. If each one's handled correctly, it puts money in your pocket, your property gets sold. Anything's handled incorrectly, aka they drop the ball at any point. That could be anything from the quality of the photos, the order of the photos. Does the agent answer the telephone when someone calls a for sale sign? There's a $1.6 million house down the street from me. It expired with a previous agent. I don't know the seller. Obviously, they're not like, a neighbor that I know, but I drive by the house all the time. $1.6 million house. It didn't sell previously, expired, went new agent. And there's not even a for sale sign. And it's on the waterway. I live on the waterway. There's not a for sale sign on the water side. There's not a for sale sign even in the front yard. And that's just little details you run by all the time, right? Where sometimes agents don't even put the for sale sign out. And so there's all these variables that make or break the home sale. And if each one's handled correctly, it gives you a competitive advantage and you're able to sell your property for more money and sell it faster. And so what I did, I was like, there's got to be a better way. And so what we did was I looked at what people did outside of real estate, how they operate real businesses with systems and processes. And the same thing happened the same way every single time. It's like, all right, how do we build that in real estate? And so we reverse engineered every single thing that has to happen in the right order to get a successful sale. We know that's how we know there's 118 different variables. And then what I did was I sought out and built a system around those with 2 main things: a team of people. We're about 30 people that are on the overall sales team. In general, about 25 buyers, agents, listing partners, inside sales, outside sales, full-time photographer, videographer, closing coordinators, listing coordinators, all the stuff to make sure everyone's a specialist in what they do and not just a generalist who can't master anything. And we backed it up with technology. And so I designed this thing called the Guaranteed Sold System. It's the only proven system that sells twice as fast and for up to 20% more money than traditional methods. And it works very, very, very well. I designed it. It's exclusive to us. I do license it to other agents, other parts of the country, but that's what works very, very well. And what you want to make sure you understand is that all these variables create small gaps. And so I create a small gap at point 1, a small gap at point 2, and you stack that up over 118 different variables in a long sales cycle. What happens is you have a massive competitive advantage that sells properties faster and it sells them for more money. And the one really good analogy is that it's like a marathon, right? Everyone takes off in the marathon. Shotgun start, they start spreading out a little bit. But at the end, what you notice is people finish 2 and 3 hours ahead of everyone else. And that's the same exact thing that we do in terms of marathon. So the marathon of your home sale. So if you want to know more about it, want to know how it works, you owe it to yourself to at least investigate it. People call our office all the time where they're in a bad situation where it didn't sell before. And here's the deal. Don't wait till that happens, because what worst case scenario is your house sells. You think you did a good job, but you actually left $30,000 of your hard-earned equity on the table. And so people will spend 30 years building this hard-earned equity, making payment after payment after payment, paying taxes on it as well, and then on 15 minutes picking an agent, right? So if you want to know more, reach out, call me, 843-808-SOLD or BlakeSloan.com. Anytime. I'll be right back in a second.
Impact your family's future. Hey, your friend Sean Hannity here, and the same is true for your real estate transactions. Now, when you sell your home, you need to speak to one of the agents right here in town that will get you the most money with the least hassle. I'm talking about Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. Now, knowing the facts when you vote and when you sell your home is always important. That's why you should check out the value of your home in today's market. When you know the accurate value, you are better equipped to make an informed decision with all the options laid out for you. Options like an instant offer, or lay out your timeline and take advantage of their guaranteed sale program, or just put it on the market and get more money than you expected. Just go to the website, find out your home's value in seconds. Call Blake Sloan today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or online at BlakeSloan.com. That's BlakeSloan.com. And get your home's real value in today's market in just seconds, and then you can start packing.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corbin. I'm excited to connect with Blake Sloan, the only real estate agent in Myrtle Beach that I recommend. We offer several options to home sellers, which really takes away the stress.
That's right. For sellers at time crunch, you can agree to sell it by a certain date, taking after a home on even rent.
That's great. And if the seller has a bit more time,
Use our proven marketing plan to sell for the highest price.
work with my friend Blake Sloan and he can get sold on your terms.
Welcome back to Blake Sloan Radio Show. Lots of great stuff we have here. And one thing I forgot to mention in the intro, I get that question all the time, like, with the guarantee, we buy it, and the billboards and everything else. We actually do buy houses, like the guarantee. Actually, I'm buying one next week. We close on to one of ours in Conway. That's $450,000. We guarantee their property to sell. Gave 90 days. They were buying something else. They want to be stuck with too. And this situation didn't sell, and so I'm coming in paying cash for it, buying it with our fund that we represent. And I'll probably take a loss on that. I'll probably lose a significant amount of money on that one. But obviously, on the long term, it works out. It works out great. And it's just kind of like, they play the numbers game. So I'll do a big video for that. Like I said, we buy a few of those a year overall, and we do a few a month in terms of the guarantee. We do a lot of cash out purchase. Our funds buying 5 properties in the next 7 days. Some of those are just instant cash offers. But the one we're specifically talking about is a guarantee. We buy it very, very fair price, very, very good price. I feel like they're getting a very, very good end of this stick. And so we'll do a great YouTube video so you guys can see. I get that question all the time. Hey, does he actually buy them? Yeah, we actually buy them. And we'll talk about that, break that entire story down. And I want to make sure, hey, you know what? We'll document that, put it on YouTube so you guys can see that behind the scenes. So lots of great news right now in terms of the market. So we had the brand new market numbers in from last month. They're actually really good, which is coming off the heels of January, February, March, when the market was kind of back on fire and rates were back in the 6s. So if you look at last month's numbers, closed sales was up 6.7%, which is awesome. These are what we call the rearview mirror numbers. This is, hey, what closed last month in the month of May? And if it closed in the month of May, I think it went into contract 36 days prior to that. So last month, there's 525 sales that closed, which is awesome, which, crazy enough, in April, there was 525 sales that closed as well. So identical numbers between April and May, which is awesome. So up 6.7% from the same month last year. Median price also up 5.7%, a new record for median price here in the Grand Strand, $405,000, which is awesome. Awesome news there. Average sale price also up to a new record at $524,409. So a 10.1% increase year over year. So huge gains there in terms of average sale price. And what's protecting that is low inventory. We're still in a super seller's market for resale homes, which is awesome. But to see a 10% increase in prices year over year overall is phenomenal. Now, again, you always want to break that down per neighborhood. And you kind of break that down per zip code, which we talk about next week in the micro market. But great news out there. And I get a lot of home sellers who are reading some of the gloom and doom online and in the news. And so the reality is sales were up 6% last month and prices up 10% last month in terms of average sale price, with a brand new record here on the Grand Strand, which is awesome. Right now, months of supply, we're at 3.9 months. So it is creeping up, meaning inventory has been creeping up, right? Sales have been pretty good the last couple months in terms of closed sales, which is awesome. If you look at that, the overall showings per listing right now, the average listing in the entire MLS showings are down 15%. The average listing gets 4.3 showings. The average amount of showings it takes to get an offer is 13 showings. And so that's down 11%. But the reality is most listings aren't living up to what it needs to get sold. And that's why you're seeing right now, even about almost 50% of properties that get listed are not selling after 6 months. They're getting relisted or they're getting extended. And so it's an interesting time right now. But lots of properties are still selling for a great amount of money, which is very good news. We always know that Myrtle Beach is very seasonal. It's been like that for a very long time. And so if you're thinking about selling, you want to probably do that sooner rather than later. One thing that we are seeing, though, condo market has been seeing a little bit of challenges. Just multiple different reasons, a little more difficult for financing. Second home market's been a little bit more difficult, where there's some overlays in terms of interest rates being a little bit higher. And there's been lots of different insurance assessments and issues with condos in general. So condo sales down 14.4% last month overall. Price is still pretty flat, which is good news. Average sale price is up 1.3% year over year at $287,000. Median price is actually down 3.4%. One of the first ones we've seen that's a decline year over year. And the one thing driving that has been inventory. Inventory is through the roof. It's up 121% right now from the same month last year. Right now, there's 6.2 months of inventory on the market, which means it made the switch from a seller's market to a buyer's market. And anytime there's 6 months of inventory or more, it's a buyer's market. And so we haven't seen a buyer's market in condos since July 2017. And so that's a big difference there overall, what we're seeing. And that's one thing I was talking with a client. This is when you want to have an agent who's really good, right? Because otherwise your condo is just strictly on price. And so you want to make sure your property is differentiated. You have someone who can actually hustle and actually push it. And that's something that we're very good at overall as well. So price still holding pretty good. Like I said, showings are definitely down 39% for condos right now. Only average listing on MLS only gets 2.3 showings. The average amount of showings it takes to get an offer to go under contract is 9.4 showings. So significant difference there. Really a 4.5x increase it needs to be able to go into contract. So that's the overall macro market. If you look at like, hey, what's the market looking like going forward? We track that every single day in our office, and it's actually up really good. So last week's show, we talked about how many properties went under contract the last 7 days, and we talked about the volume. If you remember, anybody listens to the show for a while, anytime you're over 200 million in a 7-day period going under contract, the market is rocking and rolling. So last week's show, there was 518 properties went under contract for 215 million. This week's show, 565 properties, a 9% increase week over week. And that's, again, rates went back down. They softened up. They're right around 7 right now. And a lot more buyers jumping in, which is good. For 216 million, 19 properties over $1 million went under contract last 7 days. Almost a $5 million property, a house with 80 acres plus in Soxy went under contract, which is awesome. Couple $2 million properties went under contract on the water, which is awesome. And there was 97 properties over 500,000. Inventory is holding identically where it was last week. So right now there's 1,197 active single-family properties on the market here in Horry County, which is good. So the market's rock and rolling. It's very, very seasonal right now. We are in a very interest rate driven marketplace. And so last week's show, interest rates are 7.29%. Right now, 7.03%. So great news there. We're getting some people in the sixes, which is great. A 15-year fixed rate right now, 6.55%, which is great news. A 30-year jumbo loan, 7.3%. A 30-year FHA loan, 6.54%. So you get FHA in the sixes, which is awesome. A 30-year VA loan right now, 6.55%. So great little window. Perfect timing for when school is out, when people are coming down to buy stuff. You're thinking about selling, do it sooner rather than later, right? Everyone's in that mood to get out and do things. Everyone's coming here on vacation. And we tend to see that a lot of people will combine their vacation with their home purchase. And we'll talk about Myrtle Beach being one of the biggest, the biggest destination in the entire country last year people relocate to. And we'll talk about that right here in a second.
WRNN listeners, Blake Travis here. As investors in real estate, Buck and I both know exactly what to look for.
I'll try and knock all those little things.
Okay, good. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Here in Myrtle Beach, that agent is our friend Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. If you need to sell a home and buy a new one, ask Blake about his guarantee.
Get this, Blake guarantees to sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, or he'll buy it.
Still got at least 10 minutes left.
I got a lot of time, huh? All right.
And for how much you can buy your next home without worrying about getting stuck with two more.
There's simply no other agent in the market who has a guarantee that will line up against what Blake Sloan can offer you. So when you're looking to sell and buy, he is your guy. Read nearly 750 five-star reviews by Googling Sloan Realty Group. Give Blake a call today and start packing. That's Sloan Realty Group.
And tune into Blake's show Saturdays at 9 a.m. and Sundays at 11:30 a.m.
Welcome back to Blake Sloan Radio Show. Hot Buyers Alert. My team and I are working with a ridiculous amount of home buyers here looking to buy properties, Myrtle Beach, Grand Strand area, from $250,000 to $4.3 million. If you're thinking about selling, please contact us immediately. 843-808-SOLD. That's 843-808-SOLD. One of the things I've been doing here for years and years is putting my money where my mouth is, right? A lot of people talk about having buyers, talk about doing things. We outspend the average agent 100 to 1 from a marketing standpoint. How we're able to do that is our business model. I have a very unique business model where that's what got us in Forbes and Wall Street Journal, all that stuff. As I flipped the old school model upside down, we have a team of specialists. Like I mentioned earlier, about 25 buyers specialists. They're buyers agents all day long, every day. They hustle. They're on the phones. We make 16,000 phone calls a week just on the buyer team to our leads that we have. We're spending close to 6 figures a month right now just in marketing across the entire globe. We have people from all over the place. And so one thing we do every week, been doing this for a while, is sharing how many active buyers we have with a username, password, account that are searching our site for properties. And why does that matter? Well, it matters because if you're a home seller, you want to have someone who has buyers that are in waiting, right? Not wait till you list your house, then they put the sign up, then they start marketing. So we're years and light years ahead. So that's how we're able to sell properties faster and for more money, because we have a lot more buyers who are looking for properties just like yours. And so right now, active home buyers with their username, password, account, 76,419 active home buyers. Again, 76,419 active home buyers from all over. Like right now, I got Sam Gata from, you say it, Chappaqua, New York. We got, here we go, there's a new one. Bonnie from Cabot, Arkansas. Sorry, yeah. I got that one. We got Westland, Michigan. Baltimore, Maryland, Brooklyn, New York, all over the place. Cornelius, North Carolina, Piscataway, New Jersey, Myrtle's Inlet, South Carolina. Obviously, we got Elmira, New York, which is cool. Toms River, New Jersey. So we have Irwin, PA, Annandale, New Jersey, Nichols, South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, people from all over looking to purchase. And these buyers that we have now, not only do we have the buyers, we have the technology that takes, so anytime we get a new listing, we use this technology and reverse engineers the most likely buyer for your home based on their previous search patterns. And so the first thing we do is we take that, reverse engineers all the buyers for their house, and it scores them highest to lowest, basically 99% match, 98% match. And then our sales team reaches out, calls them. So not only do we have, massive amounts of buyers, at 76,000 plus buyers, we have the technology that matches them up, but have a sales team that's super aggressive that makes 16,000 phone calls a week, following back up with them. And we're able to make sure that we're able to match up buyers and sellers aggressively in a good way, right? Where most agents are just kind of, playing golf 2 or 3 days a week, doing whatever it is, not actually hustling for the client. And our culture we're at is hustle, hustle. So the reason I share that, we need listings. If you're thinking about selling, reach out, call us, 843-808 sold. We're looking in that summer month right now when the buyers are coming in and we're trying to find them stuff. Many times we can match it up immediately and get that sold within hours in the marketplace with one of our in-house buyers, which is awesome, right? So what most agents are doing, wait to put a sign up, take a few pictures, put MLS, and pray someone sells it for them. We're actively pushing them, making the phone calls, matching up buyers and sellers. And why is that? Because I'm in business to make money, right? So if we get both sides of the commission, it's more profitable for us. And that's just who we are. That's our culture. We want to make sure we sell both sides. That's what the seller hires us to do, is actually sell the property. So awesome success story. Big shout out to Ronnie and Elaine. They recently made a decision to move down to Florida for retirement. The houses in Florida were much higher priced, though, than they had in Conway. So getting every single dollar hard-earned equity is top priority. Thankfully, Ronnie heard about us, Sloan Group, on the radio, decided to give us a call. We met with Ronnie. Lane shared exactly how we already had thousands of buyers looking for homes just like theirs. We came in, I designed a custom plan, launched our global marketing blitz, professional photos, the virtual reality walkthrough, started driving massive traffic. In a couple of weeks, Ronnie Lane received a fantastic offer on their property. Now they can move to Florida knowing they received top dollar for their home and put more money in their pocket than they even thought possible, which is super cool. And also, David owned a rental property, Little River, decided it was time for him to sell. He's just tired of being a landlord, tired of refixing up after tenants destroyed it. He met with a few investors. They gave him pennies on the dollar. We came in, showed him we can get him a lot more, and already had buyers looking for properties. And we did the same thing I talked about, designed a custom plan, launched a global marketing blitz, drove massive traffic. Check it out. Within 2 days, drove massive traffic. David had 8 offers on his property. He selected an all cash as his offer over asking price. We negotiated quick closing. He moved on, put maximum dollar in his pocket. We created that like auction type effect where multiple buyers come in and bid it up, which is super awesome in that scenario. So if you want to know more how that works, reach out, call us, 843-808-SOLD, BlakeSloan.com anytime. You can also go right online and get a cash offer on our website. It's free. I pay a lot of money for this technology. It's super simple. It's like a chat bot, and pulls from multiple data sources. And you can do it any property in the country. If you want to go Blake Sloan on your phone, you type in a few things about your house, it pulls it up, and it gives you your own dashboard for all your properties. So if you own 6 different rental properties, it'll keep it all for you to update you on the pricing. And it's all free, no hassle. You go to BlakeSloan.com for that. If you want to click a cash offer, you can click it. If you want to update a human CMA, market analysis, we can do that for you with one click. It's super, super simple. We're here to serve you, serve our clients, which is awesome. So want to get back to that article we talked about, which is super cool. Got a few minutes left. It's on Fox News. Many of y'all probably saw it. But I get a lot of worries like, hey, the market slowed down. How's Myrtle Beach doing? I've been talking for a while how we're kind of an anomaly where we have so many people still moving here from up north. And it's really cool. Pods came out with their study from last year, and the title of this is "This Scenic Southern City is the Most Popular Place to Move to in 2024." And it says South Carolina is a popular state to move to, while California is popular to move out of. Obviously, we're seeing that a lot, but check it out. Recent published report named the popular southern beach destinations most moved to city. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, took the crown of the most moved to city in an analysis published by Pods, a moving and storage company. Wilmington, North Carolina, shared that same spot, which is awesome. So super cool for us. Got a picture of our skywheel on there, which is awesome. And we were number 1. Wilmington is tied with us. Number 2 is Ocala, Florida. Number 3 is Houston, Texas. Number 4, Greenville, Spartanburg, where my mom's from. Charlotte, North Carolina. Raleigh, North Carolina. Phoenix, Arizona. Knoxville, Tennessee. Jacksonville, Florida. And number 10 was Asheville, North Carolina. So we're obviously all seeing that. We see it in the road, see it in the traffic. But that's great news for our home values here, while everyone else is obviously struggling in some states where they are seeing some declines. And another great article that came out I thought was very, very interesting. And it was kind of funny to read, and it's on the New York Post today. It says Florida is so last year. Here's the new affordable hotspot people are moving to in 2024, which is super cool. And it just talks about, how everything's going. It's got a great picture of the sky wheel, the sunrise here, which is instead in 2024. Apparently, it's all about the Carolinas, their coast, their mountains, the more the more temperate climate, and most importantly, their affordable cost of living. Say the pros at Pods, which is cool. And they did lots of data in how that works, but lots of great news we're seeing on there, which is super, super cool. And as I'm on this this website, I just saw an ad for me with Barbara Corcoran, which is super cool. So that's one thing that's really neat. And it just talks about how all the different data shows who's moving out to. Florida, the average value for a home increased only 3.3%, below the national average of 4.1%. And we went back, remember earlier, our 12-month comparison of May versus May was up 10.1% here in Myrtle Beach. So great news overall with that. And so that's something that's super, super cool to look at. We're seeing lots of great data and reports come all over the place, which is super, super interesting. One thing too I'll talk about, got a little extra time, which is awesome, is just summer marketplace. One thing that we're talking about, this is a national article. It says the sun is shining on sellers this summer, which is so true in terms of what it is. It just talks about what people are looking at, or it says, hey, if you want outdoor aces, space, entertain, neighborhood amenities, now's a great time to do it because people are moving like crazy. It is so true in that in the summertime, the data shows statistically that demand means multiple offers and a higher sales price for many people, right? The equity you get from your sale can help you with your next move. And it just talks about, check it out. This is from Rocket Mortgage. It says homes that are listed at the end of the spring, beginning of summer, typically sell faster and at a higher sales price. And that's from Rocket Mortgage, which is obviously a lot of data they use there with that. And it says if your current house isn't meeting your needs anymore, work with an agent to help get ready for this summer listing, which is so true. And if you want to know, there's two types of ways we can do it. We call number one an as-is sale, which we're very good at. A lot of people think they need to do so many things. And I find that most home sellers are very hard on themselves, and they tend to hesitate because they think, oh, I need to do all this stuff. Like, look, most of the time we tell ourselves, hey, look, we can sell it as is like this, or we can do a few fix-up things. And we always coach our clients through it. We have staging that we use sometimes, but most importantly, it's just small stuff like, hey, let's get the carpets clean. Hey, let's do some pressure washing. We try to get the highest dollar return. Basically, I want at least 2-to-1 return on what we do. Sometimes a few touch-up paint here and there. We have the absolute best vendors. We got handyman, we got painters, we got plumbers, whatever you need. Even if you need somebody great, you're not even selling your house, reach out to me and my staff, and we have a lot of great stuff. We're constantly grinding, following up, trying to figure out, all right, who do we have that's best for handyman? Who do we have right now that's really good for adding stuff or fixing things? And so typically I do notice that most people will overanalyze. Like I was talking to a client yesterday, and she was freaking out. Her property just expired with the second realtor that they listed early this year, didn't sell. The second time they didn't sell, came to us, and we identified simply as a marketing. We had her do two simple things. Number one, clean the carpet, which is super simple, and a pressure wash the outside, which is very easy. And that was just optional. Cost, I think, $100, $150 to get the carpet clean. And that was really it. On the flip side, we're selling a lot of them as is. And also, as usual, you can always come get a cash offer. We have fun with millions of dollars looking to buy stuff. And one last thing. We are looking to add to our team. Our team is absolutely rock and rolling. We had 1,000+ buyer leads just last month come in from all across the globe. We want great people who are looking to follow up. But any industry you're in, I do have a real estate school, and we are offering real estate scholarships. So if you want to learn more about that, you can go to sloanscholarship.com or just Google Blake Sloan Real Estate Scholarship, and we'll give that for the right people. Also, if you're in real estate now listening, thinking about wanting a better opportunity, we have the absolute best culture, absolute best coaching. We're super intense in terms of getting results for our clients, and we love to serve at the highest level. So if you want to know more, reach out, call us 843-808-SOLD or BlakeSloan.com. We'll see you back here next week.